When most people think about private health insurance, they automatically assume one thing: if I've already got a medical condition, it won't be covered. And for individual private health insurance, that's often true. But what many business owners don't realize is there's another type of underwriting called medical history disregarded, or MHD. In my opinion, it's one of the biggest advantages of company health insurance, yet it's something many employers have never even heard of. So, what is medical history disregarded? MHD means that instead of assessing every employee's individual medical history before they join the scheme, the insurer agrees to disregard each employee's previous medical history when offering cover under the company policy, subject to the policy terms and conditions. That means there are no individual medical questionnaires, no moratorium, no full medical underwriting. Employees simply join the company scheme without being individually underwritten. Now, before everyone gets too excited, MHD doesn't mean there are absolutely no questions at all. In most cases, the insurer will ask the company secretary, HR manager, or whoever is arranging the scheme to complete a simple declaration. Typically, they're asked, to the best of their knowledge, whether anyone joining the scheme is currently undergoing treatment, investigations, or has recently had consultations relating to serious conditions such as heart disease or cancer. The exact qualifying questions vary slightly between insurers. Some insurers ask slightly different heart and cancer risk filter questions as part of the application process, but the principle is broadly the same. These questions aren't there to individually underwrite every employee. They're there to help the insurer assess the overall risk of the company before agreeing MHD terms. If there are any members that have, then that would need to be referred and likely excluded. That all depends on the individual circumstances and which provider. Who can apply for MHD underwriting? One of the biggest questions I'm asked is, can every business have MHD? Unfortunately, the answer is no. It's generally only available on larger company schemes. As a general guide, AXA Health will usually consider groups from 15 members and up. Aviva generally starts from 15 eligible employees. Vitality will normally consider schemes from 15 employees. WPA generally requires 25 members, and Bupa is around 20 members. Now, those figures are guidelines rather than absolute rules. If your business has 13 or 14 employees, don't automatically assume MHD isn't an option. Some insurers may be prepared to review applications that are only just below their normal minimum requirements on a case-by-case basis. That doesn't mean a business with 10 employees will qualify simply because they ask. It means that where a company is only just below an insurer's usual criteria, there may occasionally be some flexibility depending on the overall circumstances of the scheme. This is another reason why working with an experienced broker can make such a difference. We understand each insurer's underwriting philosophy, minimum group sizes, and where there may be flexibility, helping you approach the insurer that's most suitable for your business. Why is medical history disregarded so valuable? Let's look at an example. Imagine one of your employees has suffered with osteoarthritis in their knee for several years. If they bought an individual private health insurance policy themselves, that condition would almost certainly be excluded. However, under a qualifying MHD company scheme, they may be able to receive treatment for that condition because their previous medical history hasn't been individually underwritten in the traditional way. For many employees, that's something they simply couldn't achieve through an individual policy. Now let's look at it from the employer's perspective. Your employees are one of your biggest business assets. If someone is waiting 6, 9, or even 12 months for treatment, projects get delayed, workloads increase, productivity drops. MHD can help employees access treatment sooner, recover faster, and return to work more quickly. It's also becoming one of the strongest recruitment and retention benefits available to employers. If you're competing for talented people, it's a benefit that genuinely sets you apart. Are there any drawbacks? Like every underwriting method, it has both advantages and disadvantages. The biggest advantage is obvious. Employees don't need to complete individual medical questionnaires before joining the scheme, and, depending on the policy terms, they may be able to access treatment for medical conditions that would normally be excluded under an individual policy. However, there are a few drawbacks. Firstly, It's generally only available to businesses with around 15 employees or more, depending on the insurer. Secondly, because the insurer is accepting a greater level of risk, MHD schemes are more expensive than equivalent schemes using moratorium or full medical underwriting. That doesn't necessarily mean they're poor value. Many employers feel the additional premium is more than justified by the enhanced benefit they're able to offer their employees. Finally, switching insurers can sometimes be a little more complex. If your business already benefits from MHD underwriting, it's important that those underwriting terms are protected wherever possible when reviewing the market. Again, that's exactly why using an experienced broker is so important. A good broker will manage that process for you, navigate the market, and help ensure you're not giving up valuable underwriting benefits simply because another insurer appears slightly cheaper. If you've already watched my videos explaining moratorium underwriting and full medical underwriting, you'll immediately understand why MHD is often considered one of the most valuable underwriting options available to businesses. If you're already insured and you're thinking about switching insurers, don't worry. There's another underwriting method called continued personal medical exclusions, or CPME. Brokers like to call it switch or switching, which works differently again. I'll explain exactly how that works in a separate video. The important thing to remember is this. Private health insurance isn't just about comparing monthly premiums and cover levels. It's about understanding how you're being underwritten, because that's what determines how your policy responds when you need it most. None of us expects to need private healthcare. Until one day, we do. I'm Aaron from Elevate Health Solutions, helping people make informed decisions about their healthcare. If you own a business with around 15 members and would like to know what premiums you can expect, get in touch.